Section 1. The Coastal Throne. An introduction to the Chera Perumals. The Chera Perumals were kings who ruled Kerala long ago, and their reign was a pivotal epoch that indelibly shaped the land and its relationship with the sea. Their era, stretching across a significant portion of the early medieval period, from approximately 800 CE to about 1124 CE, represents a distinct and formative chapter in the history of South India. This dynasty, often referred to as the later Cheras or the Kulasekharas of Mahodayapuram, established their capital at the bustling port city of Makotai, known today as Kodungallur. From this strategic coastal throne, they presided over a society that was deeply interconnected with the wider world through maritime trade, while also fostering a unique internal structure of governance centered around temples and a complex web of local allegiances. The story of the Chera Perumals is pieced together from a mosaic of historical sources, most notably the invaluable copper plate inscriptions, or Chepadukal, that have survived the centuries. Section 2. The first sovereigns, early kings, and the shaping of a kingdom. The genesis of the Chera Perumal dynasty, around 800 CE, marked a significant political consolidation in the Kerala region. The establishment of their rule from the capital city of Makotai signaled the beginning of a more structured monarchical system. One of the most prominent early sovereigns was Sthanu Ravi Kulasekhara. He reigned in the 9th century. Sthanu Ravi appears in important inscriptions, notably the Tharisapali copper plates, which record a land grant and privileges to a Christian merchant community. This shows the Perumal state's foundations, a reliance on trade, religious tolerance that aided commerce, and formal inscribed grants to legitimize royal authority. These early kings laid the groundwork for a stable, prosperous kingdom. Section 3. The arteries of commerce. Sea trade with Arabia and China. Throughout the Chera Perumal period, from the 9th to the 12th centuries, the kingdom's lifeblood was its extensive maritime trade. The geographical location of the Malabar coast made it a natural and indispensable nexus in the vast network of Indian Ocean commerce, acting as a crucial midpoint between the economic powerhouses of the East and the West. The ports of the Chera kingdom buzzed with activity as ships from distant lands docked to exchange their wares. Makotai, Kodungallur. This was not a passive trade. The Perumal administration actively fostered and managed this commercial flow, understanding that the prosperity of their kingdom depended on the smooth and continuous movement of goods across the seas. The customs duties and taxes levied on this trade constituted a major source of royal revenue. The trade links with the West, particularly with the Arabian Peninsula and the Red Sea ports, were exceptionally strong and well established. Arabian Peninsula, Red Sea ports. Arab traders, known as dhow merchants, were a constant presence in Chera ports. They sailed with the monsoon winds, bringing horses, dates, and glassware, returning with holds filled with the treasures of Kerala: black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, aromatic woods, gemstones, and fine textiles. This centuries-old relationship led to vibrant Arab merchant communities along the coast, noted in royal inscriptions granting rights and protections. Section 4. The Sacred Mandate, Temples, Grants, and Social Order. During the Chera Perumal era, temples evolved from simple places of worship into powerful, complex institutions, central to social, economic, and political life. Kings used royal patronage to project authority and integrate diverse communities. Beginning in the 9th century and the 10th century, Perumals began widespread land grants to temples. These were strategic administrative decisions, not just piety. Endowing temples with tax-free land created stable, self-sustaining economic units focal to agrarian life and local governance. Grants were documented on copper plates, our most reliable records. A typical inscription would name the reigning Perumal king, state his regnal year, and detail the lands granted. It would list privileges and responsibilities, and name local chieftains and assemblies as protectors. The Jewish copper plates of Bhaskara Ravi Varman, the Tharisapali plates of Sthanu Ravi. The documents made temples major landowners, landlords, employers, bankers. That gave temples immense influence over villages and created a durable power structure aligned with the monarchy. Temples were bustling centers of community activity, employing administrators, accountants, artisans, musicians, dancers, and service staff. Festivals became major social events. Arts like Kutiyatam flourished. This temple-centered governance solidified social hierarchy. The Nambudiris managed lands and rituals and occupied the apex of society. This symbiotic monarchy-Brahmin relationship. The king provided land and authority. The temple provided legitimacy and administration, creating a stable order that endured for centuries. Section TE5. The shifting sands of power, local chieftains and feudal transformation. While the Chera Perumal king sat at the apex of the political structure in Makotai, his rule across the wider kingdom was exercised through a network of local and regional chieftains. These hereditary chiefs, known by titles such as Naduvalis, rulers of a district, or Nadu, Nambis, and Nayars mentioned in inscriptions, were essential intermediaries between the central monarchy and the village-level communities. In early centuries, these chieftains served as loyal governors, collecting revenue and maintaining order. Their authority was derived from and subservient to the Perumal, and they supported him with military contingents in times of war, most notably during prolonged conflicts with the neighboring Chola dynasty. Over time, the balance of power began to subtly but inexorably shift. As administration grew complex, local chieftains accumulated power and autonomy. Wars in the 10th and 11th centuries increased their importance and bargaining power. They transformed from appointed governors into powerful, semi-independent feudal lords. The land grant system accelerated change. As protectors of temple grants, chiefs gained de facto control over vast estates. They amassed landholdings and wealth, and their power became entrenched and hereditary. By the 11th century, the Perumal was an overlord over potent vassals, authority acknowledged yet often nominal far from the capital. Section 6. The Final Years, Rama Kulasekhara, and the Twilight of an Era. The reign of the last great Chera Perumal, Rama Kulasekhara, who ruled during the late 11th and early 12th centuries, represents the twilight of the dynasty. His time on the throne was marked by immense external pressure and growing internal fragmentation. The primary threat came from the east, the powerful Chola Empire. The Chera-Chola wars reached a climactic intensity. The Cholas launched repeated invasions into Kerala, aiming to control its lucrative trade routes and to shatter the power of their traditional rivals. These conflicts placed unbearable strain on resources and military. Inscriptions from this period paint a vivid picture of a kingdom under siege. Rama Kulasekhara is depicted as a warrior king, defending his realm. Records suggest Chola armies penetrated deep, even sacking Makotai. The king shifted headquarters and waged a protracted resistance. By around 1122 to 1124, central authority dissolved. With the king gone from the scene, the fragile bonds finally broke. Section 7. The Fractured Inheritance, the End of Perumal Rule and the Dawn of New Kingdoms. The dissolution of the Chera Perumal kingdom around 1124. It didn't leave a vacuum. It began a new political era in Kerala. Local chieftains and provincial governors, already strong, claimed the inheritance. The fall of the centralized monarchy at Makotai was the final catalyst. Regional lords asserted full independence. Domains transformed into sovereign kingdoms. This marked the start of the medieval phase of Kerala's history. A fiercely competitive political landscape emerged. New royal houses vied for supremacy. The Zamorin of Calicut, the Kingdom of Kochi, Perumpadapu Swarupam. The Zamorin claimed the Chera political legacy and expanded along the northern coast. To the south, Venad consolidated power, later forming Travancore. They inherited Perumal administrative systems. The temple-centered economy endured. Systems of law and land tenure continued. Maritime trade links with the Arab world and China continued. Calicut thrived. Kochi remained a hub. Kollam prospered.